Hello and welcome to Guam Evening News. I'm Marty Hogan.
And I'm Ralph Mateo.
Tonight, Vance.
It's on the lens again.
Check. We've got a slider on the camera. Who did this?
Lance never showed up.
He never showed. Heard his wife was sick. Got bit by one of the spiders.
Watch out, partner. You got one.
Another one.
Anyway, well, as if
we start this again, it's live. Oh, it's live.
It's live. Okay, so if it's no surprise to you already with the snake problem, yeah, we've got one. There's nearly 2 million of these pesky inhabitants on our island. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has just released a plan to get rid of the nearly 2 million invasive brown tree snakes that are on our island right now. Now, the plan, Marty, is to drop dead mice containing toxic doses of painkillers, and they're going to airstrike them in the most densely populated areas of these snakes. What do you think of this plan?
It's a good plan if we could somehow tell all the other animals and humans not to eat the toxic mice.
Yeah, that is pretty crucial. Now, this effort is scheduled to start this spring. Spring.
Skip another one. Get up. Terry, get the medic.
Toxic kit. Toxic kit. So Daniel, Vice Assistant State Director of the USDA Wildlife Service in Hawaii and Guam, has come out and said, we're taking this to a new phase. There is no problem, no snake problem in the world like there is in Guam.
And there's currently over 2 million snakes on the island. And there's only about 180,000 people. So either we all own a couple hundred pairs of snakeskin boots, or we start killing these guys and getting rid of them.
Now, this plan is to get rid of the snakes, obviously. I mentioned off air that why don't we just move the people?
Yes.
But that seems not to be an option for some strange reason.
If we were to move all the people, they would all have to get their own new citizenship, new this, new that. And some people, you know, have adapted to what they're calling the snake life.
Yeah, I'm sorry to all the viewers at home. I grew up here, and I really do love Guam. So that is no offense to the people at all. But there is one population we won't have to move, because there is none. That's right, it's the birds. The birds. Since the snakes have come, they've eaten all of them. Every species of bird is now extinct.
Every species of bird is now extinct.
Which has led...
That's not most of the birds. It's not almost all of the birds. There are no birds in Guam.
No birds, but on the other side of the fence, there are tons of spiders because of this.
Yes. From what I understand, the old nursery rhyme about the itsy bitsy spider, rain does not actually kill the spiders at all. In fact, they enjoy the moisture and they've been breeding rapidly. In all seriousness, don't let your kids outside alone. There's spiders everywhere. This is Guam.
This is actually the size of a grasshopper on Guam, a good 6 inches, so you can only imagine the size of the tarantulas.
In other news, our beaches that used to be filled with American, Canadian, and tourists from all over the world are now just filled with Japanese people. Japanese people seem to like our gun laws, so they come here in order to shoot guns. The only thing is, if they are on the beach, don't go into the water. We now have
the box jellyfish everywhere. Not good news for Guam. We're surrounded. Land, sea, and now air. That's right, the Russian B-2 bombers continue to fly overhead as they have all week. These are Tu-95 strategic bombers. They've been spotted over Guam and all over the Pacific Ocean. The State Department security official Mark Groombridge came out and said the Russians are clearly sending a signal that they consider the Pacific an area of vital national and strategic interest, and that they still have some power production capabilities to counterbalance any effort we have as a U.S. military.
By 2017, we should have U.S. Marines posted on the island, so there will no longer be a threat of the Russian oppression.
That's right. Pacific Commander Admiral Samuel L. Locklear came out and said by 2017, that's right, we could have an answer to this Russian movement. But it seems to me like it's a little too late, a little delayed, 4 or 5 more years.
Well,
like they're overhead right now, so.
Yeah.
But, we're just here to report the news, not question it.
On to some good news.
Great news.
5 years ago, we suffered a horrible loss to Iran. Our Guam national soccer team, although put up a valiant effort and had one shot that was within 8 yards of the net.
Close.
Very close, considering what a mile is, what 2 miles is.
3, 4 miles.
From a net is pretty good. Now, we did lose that game 19-0. But where the good news comes in is, just recently we played China.
That's right, we only lost 12-0.
12-0.
And then better news, even better news, Marty. We faced Hong Kong and we lost 9-0, and then a quick rematch after that weekend. Huge improvement. We still lost, but only 2-1.
And that means that we got our first national goal of all time.
That's right. Now the team's fortunes have begun to turn around since Gary White took over the team. He told FIFA recently, "The first thing I did when I arrived is change the mentality to a more winning one. A psychology that has stuck and that has been huge."
It's been reported that Gary was actually thinking about running for parliament in Guam. And when asked which vote he thinks would be the most important, he said simply, the snakes.
They outnumber us. Now, the Chinese Taipei and Guam are out of contention for a berth in the 2014 Challenge Cup, but they will play for pride, they will play for keeps, and they're going to try to put a couple tallies on the board, but unfortunately, the papers, all the headlines, all it says is that Guam's football team is snake bitten. So,
if they only knew how many of our children have died from the snakes, they would realize that that is not funny in the slightest.
No. That wraps up 6 o'clock Guam News.
Thank you for tuning in. Please tune in tomorrow night as we will hopefully have some good news. But to be honest, probably not. Thanks again, Marty.
I'm Ralph Patel. You stay positive, Guam.
Dun, 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 dun.